Orioles had a very interesting draft. Yes. It is the 6th year that they have picked under this current regime with Mike Elias. They have taken, in the first round every year, a hitter. And I believe it has been a college hitter every year except Jackson Holliday, who was basically a college hitter, considering how much BP he took at Oklahoma State with his dad.
Sure.
And again, they take Vance Honeycutt, an outfielder from North Carolina. Now, we have officially reached a point, I believe, where it's like the Orioles do not have enough position spots in the major leagues for all of these prospects. We're already there. And then they took 3 college hitters again yesterday.
Yeah.
And what it tells me, it's fair to ask this question, how many games are Vance Honeycutt and Griff O'Farrell going to play in the major leagues for the Baltimore Orioles, right?
Yeah.
At this point, what the Orioles have identified, they are incredibly good at developing hitters, specifically college hitters, right? And to build that asset up, you can then trade that for established big league pitching as they already did with Corbin Burns. That, at least in their mind, is the value. We do this one thing really well. Why would we zag from the formula? I get it. Honeycutt as a player seems like the final boss for them. As far as goes, unbelievable athlete, great college performer, elite defender in center field, legit raw juice. Boy, does he swing and miss a lot, right? Like the K rates are really concerning. Can they teach him how to make more contact? We'll see. They balanced it out with Griff O'Farrell, who they took with their second pick of the night, who is the opposite question. Like, pretty good.
No power, but plays the hell out of shortstop and doesn't strike out. So
normal K rate.
Below average. Yeah.
If you average Honeycutt and O'Farrell.
You put them together. They take Griff O'Farrell's teammate, Ethan Anderson, so WVA there for the O's. And yeah, it's like, will we see Honeycutt as an Oriole one day? Or is he now, does this class push out the guys at the top, the Norbys, Kerstads, Mayos? Do those guys get moved in trades in the next month?
Good problem to have.
Off season? All good problem to have. But I do feel like it's mixing a pitcher. Maybe.
Why?
We'll see if they do on day 2.
They're good at this thing. I'm not asking you to do a podcast about football.
23. The Dodgers, they had one pick. Kellen Lindsey, another one of our combine conversations. Kellen Lindsey, a guy who injured last summer. If he wasn't injured last summer, everyone would have known about him. Instead, over the first month of this year, everyone's like, oh my God, this Kellen Lindsey guy's amazing. High school shortstop in Florida, one of the fastest players in the draft. And, they let Trey Turner walk in free agency. Whether that was a good or a bad decision, right now, not looking awesome. But, we could debate that. Now they get a player who very much resembles Turner at his high school version.
I think what's important to understand, this is a good place to have a brief conversation about comps.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Comps are lazy. When they do them on broadcasts, I generally roll my eyes. But they're also useful to try and teach someone about a player. Yeah. But what I think is important to understand is this is what player X looked like at this stage in the development. Right. Kellen Lindsey is what Trey Turner looked like and played like as a guy leaving high school going into college. Right. That is an easy way to understand it, I think, without being irresponsible.
Yeah. And we have no idea what will happen next, right? Will Kellen Lindsey develop more power? Will Kellen Lindsey not stick at shortstop and end up in center field? There's so many things that can happen next, but it is what it looks like now.
Exactly. Cam Caminiti to the Braves at number 24.
This was also probably one of the biggest surprises of the night. He was in attendance, and I think when you looked at the players who were there, no one would have expected that Cam Caminiti would have been the last player in attendance to hear his name called as the top high school pitcher in the draft, and the Braves managed to get him at 24. I imagine they're going to have to pay him a whole bunch over that slot value, which I believe was, that slot value was at, $3.5 million. I would imagine that bonus is going to be closer to $4 million. But that's really amazing. That's another one where, their position player, their farm system has no hitters to speak of, but they've been really good at developing arms, and they're going to keep kind of leaning into that core competency. And getting Caminiti at 24, you obviously have to be pretty excited about that. Speaking of left-handed pitchers, Cash Mayfield goes 25 to the Padres. 8th straight year the Padres have taken a high schooler with their first pick. This is so on brand. Cash Mayfield kind of dominating in the middle of nowhere, Oklahoma. Guess
Elk
what?
City, Oklahoma.
I bet AJ Preller was at every start.
Every start.
AJ Preller, the scoutiest scout of any GM by far. He's got everyone else lapped. An elite talent evaluator. Is he an elite GM otherwise?
TBD.
Who's to say?
Actually, we should probably D it. It should be D'd by now.
At this point,
If we have Indeed,
We're past the TBD stage for Preller. But
it's
anyway,
just a,
hey,
he's
Padres,
just a B. It's just a B.
Padres having a good season. Cash Mayfield, another talented lefty, and on brand for the Padres to go here.
Interesting dynamic because he's a player who didn't do a lot of showcase stuff really at all. And so if you only scout the showcase circuit, you probably didn't see Cash Mayfield a lot, which is why AJ Preller and the Padres, who go to the places, see and be seen, they felt comfortable taking Mayfield there.